Hello, welcome to Fish and Chips. I'm Autumn,
I'm Taylor.
and this is our very first webcast. I'm very excited, and I hope you guys do enjoy it. I hope there's many more to come. Tonight, I'm going to be telling you about an experience that we had this evening. I was at a bar walking back to my apartment, and I'm walking through this little alleyway that I usually go through. It's a shortcut, and there's a beer can laying there, which is not out of the ordinary. There's beer cans everywhere in Morgantown, but it was full and it was rolling back and forth very vividly. And I thought to myself, well, that's odd. So, I stood there for a few minutes just watching it all. Then I realized this must be a ghost. It absolutely has to be a ghost. So I continued to watch, and then I realized it's the ghost of Michael Jackson because the beer can kept turning from white to black, and I kept hearing, ticka ticka ow! So I knew it was Michael. So the beer can proceeds to lift up off the ground, fly across the alleyway, and hit a homeless guy in the face. Unfortunately, it killed him. So I'm sitting there pondering, what can I do with this dead body? And then it hits me. The best thing to do is take this dead homeless guy home. So I drag him back to my apartment, which is about a quarter of a mile away. I get to my apartment and I thought he's probably hungry. So I go in the kitchen and I make some mashed potatoes, and he didn't have an appetite, which really pissed me off because he's my guest in my house. I mean, yeah, he's dead, but he could still be nice. He doesn't have to be rude. So I proceed to shove the mashed potatoes down his throat. They're getting everywhere. And in the middle of me feeding him mashed potatoes, my sister walks in and she says,
I was like, it smells like a turd wrapped in burnt hair in here.
and it did. It was like a turd wrapped in burnt hair, which, if you've ever smelled that, is absolutely repulsive. So she says, let's give him a bath. So we take him into the bathroom and we bath him, and it did absolutely no good. He still smelled like a turd wrapped in burnt hair, but maybe a small turd. So we're sitting there and we're like, what can we do with this dead body? And Taylor looks at me and says, what better than to take him to the opera?
But you gotta think, if you have a guy in your house, you gotta give him a name. So, I mean,
That's true. So we decided to name him Bartholovich. So going to the opera, we figured he needed better clothes.
but, we don't have a whole bunch of money, so Autumn hit me in the head with a hammer, so we decided that we were gonna go out, and we found this old cup on the road, so we decided to ask people for money, because I was bleeding very badly. Instead of going to the hospital, we could go buy him some new clothes.
Yes, so I hit her in the head with a hammer. There's blood everywhere. It's a bloody mess.
And it hurt very bad.
She still has
don't.
actually a huge knot and
Yeah.
cut in her head. She had to get 8 stitches. We did that later, but that's really not important right now. Sorry, no offense. Anyways, so we get the money. We end up gathering up like $300 with, a 13-year-old girl covered in blood, and we're telling them that some big black guy punched her in the head and hit her with a bat and all this crazy nonsense. So we get the money. So we go and we get him new clothes. We got him a tuxedo and a tie for the opera. So we proceeded to go to the opera after, Taylor cleaned up with the blood and everything. So we go to the opera and we're sitting there, and it's a marvelous show. Never seen anything like it. Well, the next thing I know, the gentleman sitting beside of me starts talking to Bartholovich, and we both got extremely nervous because, we're thinking to ourselves, oh my God, we're sitting here with a dead homeless guy at the opera, and someone is speaking to him. What can we do? So I say, I'm thinking on my feet, and I look at Taylor and I said, we have to make this believable. So I turn to Taylor like I'm talking to her while Bartholovich is sitting to my right. And I proceed to go, my name is Bartholovich. And he believed it, but he looked at him and he said, that's very odd. I just heard you say your name was Bartholovich, but you did not move your mouth. So then I look at my sister again and I say, I'm a ventriloquist. And he actually believed it.
But the thing is his eyes was rubbed back in his head, so we had to think of something else to do, because, I mean, that just wasn't right.
That's a giveaway when, their eyes are rolled in the back of their head. So I say, oh my goodness, I have a pair of sunglasses in my purse. So we put the sunglasses on him. But then as the opera goes on, there's people everywhere gossiping, saying, what is that guy doing with sunglasses on inside an opera? So me and Taylor grabbed sunglasses real quick and put them on, hopefully thinking that people thought it was a trend.
But instead, everybody thought we were just really weird, so we decided to go and get him a cane just to think he was, an ordinary blind
Yes,
guy.
so we leave the opera and we go and buy him a cane and a seeing eye dog. So I look at Taylor and I say, let's go to the bar.
Well, I'm not allowed in the bar, so on our way there, I was petting the dog and it bit me in the face, so I threw it in the street and it ended up getting hit by a car 3 times. So I
Yes,
just kind of brought what was left of it back, and we decided to bury the body and keep the head and get it stuffed. I mean, because, who wouldn't want to stuff dog's head? I mean, it was cute.
exactly. Who would not want to stuff a dog's head? If you wouldn't want to stuff a dog's head, then I don't even want you watching this webcast. So, anyways, she can't go into the bar because she's 13. So we go into the bar and we weren't in there very long. People were giving us very dirty looks. I propped him up beside the jukebox, just like the song, and I got wasted. And then I was like, all right, Bartholovich, it's time to leave. For a minute, I actually started to believe that he was real. Well, he was real, but alive. So we leave the bar and we go back. We drag him back to our apartments. And we're sitting there and we put a movie in and we're laughing and then we look at Bob, or not Bob, we look at Bartholovich and we're like, oh, what do you think of this movie? He wasn't even talking to us. He was being so rude.
What
So
guest doesn't talk to? I mean, jeez, that is so rude. So we decided that we didn't want him anymore.
exactly, we did not want him in our house anymore. So what we did, we decided, I have a chainsaw, she has a hacksaw, so we chopped him up into little tiny pieces and decided to flush him down the toilet. I did have to get the plunger out a couple times because, the bones are hard and they get stuck and everything. So we decided to flush Bartholovich. So we wanted to share our evening with you, what we did this evening, and I don't recommend, if you ever find a homeless person, bringing him into your apartments because it never leads to good
No,
endings.
it makes your house smell like a turd wrapped in burnt hair. It
Yeah,
doesn't. It doesn't work very well
we're still trying
at
to get the
all.
smell out, and
Yeah.
actually, Sebastian threw up a couple times because he smelled the hobo and he actually tried to eat him. He actually ate one of his eyes, which I don't care because he was dead anyways. But um, the, I hope you enjoyed fish and chips and
Please leave us our comment at the bottom of this webcast to see if we are gonna do any more.
yeah, if we don't get very many comments, we're probably not going to do any more. We're probably just going to come and find whoever you are and kill you also and chop you up into little pieces and flush you down a commode. But thank you very much for watching Fish and Chips. Until next time, I'm Autumn,
I'm Taylor.
and thanks for watching.
Bye.
Peace.